Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 51 of the Hunt a Day. I am tired. Yesterday was a very long day of both work and video editing. I mentioned it in the community post I did for the video I released last night. I took my laptop to work with me so that I could edit in between shifts, and that was kind of exhausting. But I wanted to get a video out about the mobile game that got announced. But that's neither here nor there. I'm a little bit tired today, but I am excited to talk about the monster for today, which is Great Izuchi. Great Izuchi is another one of Rise's yokai wyverns being based off of the Kama Itachi, or Scythe Weasel. And the inspiration is very clear. He has a very kind of ratty, weaselly face, and then the massive scythe tail. And I think it's a really cool design. It's very simple, but it matches the aesthetic they're going for, and it nails the inspiration of the monster that they were trying to emulate. It's a really good example of how they can be more simplistic with these inspiration designs and still be, hitting the mark, which it just the more I think about it makes it even more wild why Magnamalo is as outrageous as it is. Aesthetically, I love the look of Great Izuchi, as it's, a bit different from the other raptor wyverns that we've seen. All of the dog wyverns, Great Baggy, Great Jaggy, and Great Roggy, all have that draconic kind of muzzle snout look to their faces, and then the dromes, Velocidrome, Gendrome, Iodrome, all have more beak-like faces, more bird-like. And then, Great Izuchi is unique with that weasel-looking face, and I think that's really cool, and I would love to see more raptors with that kind of, look. I really like his color palette. The oranges and blues and whites all work together really well. I've gone on record many times saying that I'm not the biggest fan of, bright, warm colors, but, orange I really like, and am always happy to see it used well in creature design. I also really like what they tried to do with Great Izuchi, with him being a bandit leader almost, and being one of the pack monsters that more explicitly uses its pack in its attack patterns. They made a big deal out of saying the little Izuchi are a part of the fight with the Great Izuchi, more so than just a kind of byproduct, and aren't involved as much. And I really wish that were more present, because for the most part the little Izuchi are involved in maybe 2-3 attacks, but for the most part just kind of are there to get whapped away and then forgotten until the Great Izuchi calls in more for another couple attacks before they are immediately dead again. And it is so hard to do pack monsters with one large monster and then a bunch of little monsters, because the little monsters have to die so quickly. I think Wilds is really going to nail it with the herd monsters, and how they're all technically large monsters, so they won't die to a stiff breeze. You'll have to find ways to actually deal with them or separate them in order to, continue the fight that you need to do to complete the quest. If they do ever bring Great Izuchi back, I want to see them incorporate that a little more. Maybe don't have him just call in random little Izuchi, maybe have a kind of middle ground between the small Izuchi, the Great Izuchi, a medium Izuchi that are his goons, Moveset wise, I love how much he uses his tail. I love how it'll get stuck in the ground, giving you an opening, and it's a really good instructional monster for hey, get out of the way and then capitalize on the advantages the monster gives you. But I think my favorite move of his is when he jumps up on the wall, and you see him do it a couple times, jumps up on the wall, yells at you for a little bit, and then jumps at you either with a tail slam or a tail spin, and you kind of have to watch for what he's doing. I think that's a cool move, and I like how he shakes it up sometimes, and I wish he did more of that. I am a big fan of raptor monsters, and in general, I just wish they did more. I wish we had a more, one of my best performing videos of all time was a video I did about how I think the raptor monsters deserve better, and there should be a mid to end game, not Elder Dragon level, but a Rathalos level raptor wyvern. And I still very strongly agree with that. And I could have seen Great Izuchi being that with a little more tuning, with a little more put into the small wyverns, I think, the small Izuchi. Now, in terms of it returning in Wilds, again, I don't think any of the yokai monsters are going to, but Great Izuchi, again, similar to, when I talked about Acnosome, and when I talked about Ghost Harag, I think they could easily slot into any kind of setting. They're very much inspired by yokai, but they are simple in design enough that I think they could fit anywhere that Capcom would want to put them. So I think 0 out of 10 for returning in Wilds, but a high 6 or 7, I think, because it is a early game raptor monster, and usually Capcom wants to introduce new ones of those instead of bringing in too many old ones. I'm gonna say 6 or 7 for returning in a future non-Wilds game. That's the ramble for today. I'm going to upload this, and then I'm gonna crawl back into bed until I have to get up and get ready for work, because, good God, I'm exhausted. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the fight if you can. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.